back, and that is you know what? Spencer Conley would be the black JR. He sure enough would have been the black JR Ewing. Sitting, that cowboy hat. Look at here, Hoss. Yeah, they turned your mic off. You know what? You back.
Jeff turned my mic off.
What? No, I didn't.
I
didn't touch it.
Yeah,
There's those big elbows you got.
Black J.R. Ewing.
Yeah, you would have been the black JR Ewing. And we would have been Bobby, and we'd have had we'd have been up in there, boy, up in South Fork doing it, huh?
Yeah.
What if they would have had a black Dallas, a black version of Dallas?
Yeah, but it would have been based out of Oak Cliff. You know what I mean?
South Oak Cliff.
South Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
out of the cliff.
Right.
We wouldn't have had no big ranch. We would have had like an acre or two, right?
You wouldn't have seen no real cattle, just the horns on the front of the Cadillac. That's it.
Well, listen, let's talk to a real cowboy, a real Dallas Cowboy, that is. The original 88, our man, Drew Pearson. Drew, welcome back to Laying Down the Law.
You got it, guys. Thanks for having me. How's it going this Sunday?
Good morning, brother. Best
morning.
wishes to you.
Yes, we are.
Texas didn't play, so everything's good, right?
Yes, sir.
It is. You know, Jeff Blake's team, the East Carolina Pirates, put it on North Carolina.
East Carolina. What's up with them?
Through 70
You
on
didn't
them.
know, son? You didn't know?
Really
I keep trying to
what's the
tell
coach
people.
name?
East
Out
Carolina.
there? East Carolina?
Yes, sir.
The head coach?
Yes, sir.
Ruffin.
Ruffin.
Yeah,
Ruffin McNeil.
Ruffin
came out of
McNeil.
Texas Tech. Texas Tech ain't had a defense since he left.
No,
You're
they
absolutely right. They
Right.
should have made him the head coach.
Yeah.
As good.
Amen.
They should have made him the head coach. He took Texas Tech to the Alamo Bowl. I was there with my man, Stephen Sheffield from Pflugerville Conley, came in, and they
He still could have hired Kingsbury.
well, you know,
He could've been
defense
offered-
win championships.
I know, but, they could have hired Ruffin McNeil.
Right.
All right, but he would have kept Lincoln, the offensive coordinator that he took from Texas Tech to East Carolina.
Right.
He took that whole offensive crew with him. They're all still at East Carolina.
Yes, doing a tremendous job. So,
Yes.
so Jeff Blake is undefeated in fantasy football. Drew Pearson and his East Carolina Pirates scored 70, first time since 1959. So we're not giving him the pimp cup, but he's in good shape today.
Well, I bet he can dominate fantasy football since he played the real football. I'm sure he knows how to dominate this fantasy stuff.
He does, except when he comes up against Steve Foster. Steve Foster knows how to calm him down.
Steve Foster cheats.
Wow.
Hey, Drew, you know that Drew, you know there's something really going on when somebody refers as themselves in the third person.
Well, it's third person
Anytime.
Sunday. It's third person Sunday, and that was initiated by Jeff Blake.
Yes.
Okay?
But you do it all the time.
Hey, Drew Pearson, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys as a football on Sunday, because right now I got G.I. bro.
I got that for breakfast, man. Y'all feeling it this morning.
We are. We want to play again. Every now and then, I think we feel like you, and we want to play again and just get out there. Football is one of the most fun sports and activities because of your teammates. And I saw a Dallas Cowboy team that looked more like the Cowboys when you played, Drew Pearson, a very balanced offense inspired by some very good defensive play.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only when we played and had success with first Calvin Hill and then later Preston Pearson, Doug Dennison, and then we went and drafted Tony Dorsett, and then we go to 3 Super Bowls in 4 years and things like that. But also in the 90s, early 90s, when Troy and Michael were doing their thing, they really couldn't do that thing without that prowess of the offensive line and the running game led by the NFL's all-time leading rusher, Emmitt Smith. So the running game, and then we hear about the draft. When we go back to the draft, back to May, we were talking about the draft, and I don't remember when the first running back was picked in that draft, in the 2014 NFL draft. But I do remember hearing all the negative talk about how the running back position is becoming a deletion in the NFL and how we're throwing the football and the running back position is not that important. Then you get into the season, that's all you hear about, how important the running game is and how it wins championships. So that's what the Cowboys hopefully are hearing now. And they're running the football. DeMarco Murray leads the NFL in rushing with 285 yards. The Cowboys lead the NFC in rushing. And the best way to protect Romo is to run that football. The best way we protected Roger Staubach was to run the football, and the best way the guys in the 90s protected Troy Aikman was to run that football. And hopefully we'll stick with that game plan against St. Louis, who is not very good against the run, one of the worst teams in the NFL stopping the run. They're very good rushing the passer, but they've had trouble so far this season stopping the run.
We're talking with Drew Pearson. We're between the eights with, yes, the original 88 Drew Pearson. You make very salient points. And here's the other thing, Drew. It allows for play action to really be taken seriously and not just as an opportunity for the linebackers to get a drop, because they really know that hand to the belly of the rusher is really for naught, and that it's a true pass play. I love the fact that when Tony Romo throws the ball less, one, it takes the decision-making out of his hands. And you know, you may look at me a little funny when I say that, but I'd rather have the decision be somebody having to turn their hips and push a man left or right with DeMarco Murray, an all-pro running back, than Tony taking the chances and reading his progressions and getting it wrong.
Yeah, and, you know, to add to that, the play-action deal, that's what Tony does best, you know. He's a great ball handler in handling the football because he's a very good athlete. And he does that misdirection hand, you know, fake it one way and roll out the opposite way. You know, he's pretty effective. But, you know, now he's got to understand that when he comes out of that, when he fakes it one way and rolls out the next way, he's got to be prepared, a little more concerned about the pass rush, because he does not have the movement that he had last year, even before he got hurt. So he's got to be aware of that. But play action will enhance our running game, will enhance our passing game, it'll certainly enhance our offense. There's no question about that.
Absolutely. A 1 o'clock kickoff, the Cowboys on the road. I know that Jeff Blake's son, and
yes.
we would be remiss if we didn't recognize the fact that Emory Blake is a part of the St.
That's
Louis
right.
Rams, the opponent for the Dallas Cowboys at wide receiver.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, let's talk defense, because, you know, interestingly enough, the Rams don't have Sam Bradford, who they were definitely counting on as the signal caller for this season. Sean Hill came in, and then they made some adjustments in last week's game. What's your assessment about the Rams' offense?
Yeah, they're struggling on offense. You know, it's the same thing. We lose Romo, we start to scramble and struggle as well. So they've lost their guy, Bradford, and you know, they're scrambling as well. So, but they're used to it a little bit because, you know, they were without him last season. But the problem was their backup, the guy they were counting on for the backup, was it Sean Hills? Shane Hills?
Sean Hill.
I don't even know his name. Let me do some homework.
No, that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mr. Hill, let me put it like that. You know, he got hurt, so they're hoping that he might be able to play today. No final word on that yet. But if he doesn't, then you go to the third-string guy, and that's a guy named Austin Davis. And you start scratching your head and looking at the program and roster and find out who is Austin Davis. Well, he's a second-year quarterback from southern Mississippi, and, you know, he's hasn't thrown any touchdowns yet, and he's thrown one interception. So he's a guy that we should not allow ourselves to be beaten by. You know, I remember back in the day, we had certain quarterbacks we went up against, and we knew going in there was no way. If we did our job off the field and scored enough points to win a football game, we knew there's no way certain quarterbacks were going to beat us. There's no way they're going to beat Tom Landry's defense. And I feel like this is one of those weeks where we should not let this quarterback beat us. And the way to do that is to stop the running game, which they've had trouble doing, running the football, and then put the game in his hands, and let's get after him, and let's make some big plays and help our offense out a little bit.
Absolutely, and I love putting pressure on the quarterback. And, you know, Jeff Blake knows even a mobile guy like himself that can throw well on the run, it's a lot more disruptive for your timing. Not that you don't have the ability to throw the ball on the run, but it's the timing that you expect to get the ball to a person like you, Drew Pearson. If I can mess that timing up, I get an opportunity to make things difficult, because maybe I have to if I'm Jeff Blake, throw the ball higher than I want to, or sooner or later than I want to, which gives the defense maybe, if nothing else, a 50-50 heads-up opportunity to disrupt that play.
Yeah, no question. And, in disrupting timing, that means you're putting pressure on the quarterback. And, it's all right to disrupt that timing, but you got to make plays behind that, because if we disrupt that timing, he's scrambling around. A lot of that time, that's what leads to the big plays. When you break a receiver loose and the quarterback is able to find him, that's what Romo does so well. So we want to disrupt his timing, but we also want to put him on the ground. And that's what it's going to be all about this afternoon for the defense.
And we're talking with Drew Pearson. We're between the eights with Drew Pearson, the original 88. And that's right. As the famous soundbite is, the quarterback must go down, and he must go down hard. And often. And often. Exactly. So what's the score for today's game, Drew Pearson?
I picked 27-17 last week, and I heard a chorus of laughter coming from the studio where you guys are from. Like that.
Yeah.
Kind of laughter.
Yeah.
Like that. But I'm picking 27-17 again. It's my third week picking that score, and I think it's a good score for this game, like I thought it was for last week. I don't think they have the offensive firepower to get over 20 points, and I think we do. So I think we'll win this game 27-17.
That sounds like a good number to me. I think a win here and having the Cowboys get to 2-1 would be an excellent start for this team. Also, I want you to know I did a little research, and on the Pro Football Hall of Fame website, they list all the people that are involved with who picks the players and the explanations, and there's some guys that are on the senior selection committee. In fact, John McClain in Houston and your man Gosselin up in Dallas. So those would be two people we certainly need to give a call and talk to them about what's going on. And, of course, it never hurts to have Captain Comeback be a supporter as well. I believe the time is now for Drew Pearson to make his way towards Canton. So I've been doing
appreciate that, guys. Appreciate you.
Been doing a little work behind the scenes to at least get things in proper perspective. But we certainly appreciate your input. I think this is a game that should be taken care of. And again, just don't have Tony Romo pass the ball too much. I believe when he's in the 20s,
you have to establish a running game.
Yeah.
You have to.
Well, here's a thought. I think the commissioner should pick the Hall of Fame candidates. What do you think about that? He controls everything. He controls everything
Right.
else.
Well, maybe not for long.
Right. But hey, Drew, if he picked it, he'll mess around and say he didn't see your ballot.
Right.
Well, we're going to send plenty of Drew Pearson ballots. That would definitely be the case. Absolutely. Well, Drew, listen, have a great day. We know that you have other duties during the NFL game week and the game day. We certainly appreciate you being our man between the eights, the original 88 of the Dallas Cowboys here on Laying Down the Law.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
All right.
All
right. Have a great day as well. We'll fire it up.
Yeah.
It's good.
And let me tell you something, Steve. My whole deal is this.
What's your deal?
My deal with the Cowboys is this.
Because we need to go to break because we're going to bring on the Texans inside. Go ahead.
You forgot?
No, you don't tell me to go ahead after you tell me we're going to go to break. I'll circle back to it, and I'll make sure that everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about.
That sounds good.
The inconsistency of the Cowboys. Everybody gets fired up off of one good win.
Okay.
That's true.
They're not consistent. That's what you want to see consistent out of them, but then they don't do it. They're about to play a Rams team the same way they walked into Detroit last year and let that game be snatched away from them. They are not consistent. What I wanted to say to Drew, which I didn't because I respected between the eights. Here's the thing with Romo. They look just as bad sometimes when he plays as when he doesn't play. This is the same guy the week before threw a pick inside the 5 on first down.
That's why you hand the ball off, and you don't allow him to check out of the play. I'd rather take my chances with DeMarco Murray bouncing to the outside or cutting back than having
and I've been a diehard Cowboys fan all my life. You know, every time I'm in studio and we go to
what hat am I wearing?
Pardon me?
What cap am I wearing?
I know. So
what is it?
It's the star, and there's a price to wear the star.
Okay.
So I agree.
Why didn't you just say Cowboys? You know what? I'm going to tell y'all why. I'm a little salty last night. One of these dudes tried to walk up on me last night. I just trying to cool off.
But anyway, the bottom line is without a running game, and we're in trouble.
You got to have a running game.
And I'm happy to see that we are running the ball better. And I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. I just need to see us do it consistently. And if we do that, we're going to be fine.
All right. Well, the Texans up next. They're in the Meadowlands against the New York Football Giants. Stay with us. Our Texans insider, Jay Foreman, right here when we come back on Laying Down the Law.